Hi guys, thanks for watching. I've got a review for you today on the most iconic watch ever made, the Rolex Submariner. Thought we'd do a review on the watch that I have. Very lucky to have it. So I thought I'd do a bit of a kind of product review on it and tell you all about it, etc. In the screenshot, we've got some lovely watches which I'm really proud to own. A Milgauss Z Blue, love it, and I thought they'd sit well together because of their orange hands. You've got a Z Blue on the right, and then on the left you've got the Explorer 2 42mm Polar. So gorgeous watches. Very lucky to have these in the collection. And on the list today is a little bit of a kind of wild card. Done a review on it in the past. A Zenith El Primero Chronomaster, 42mm in rose gold. Absolutely the nuts guys, the absolute cat's pajamas, proper thing. So I know it's a little bit different to my normal collection, but I just had to buy it. Lovely watch. So we'll put that down and we'll talk about the Rolex Sub. I mean, fascinating really. The kind of Rolexes, the Rolex world kind of came out in the 50s, beginning with the Explorer in 53 and the Sub in 53 as well. So the Submariner came out in 53. GMT came out in 54, I think, for Pan Am Pilot. So three of their kind of core watches, their core lineup that is still produced today and pretty much distinctively in the same style, really. Obviously, plenty of iterations on each sub, but pretty much the same watch that you see here it looks very similar to, like, you know, they've got the Porsche 911 kind of ethos, haven't they? Each watch looks slightly different. Major kind of I suppose technical innovations, but in terms of the way the aesthetics look and ergonomics of the watch, they are very similar to ones that were made in the 50s. So I think that was the decade that kind of defined Rolex, was the 50s, because they brought so many different models out. And then they had obviously a run until the 90s where nothing else was made. But the Sub came out in 53. And really, I suppose, when diving got massive, Jacques Cousteau and Comex, the French kind of, I don't know whether they were a governing body, but there's certainly a French company involved in diving. They kind of all wore these watches. So that's kind of where it started, really. In the 50s, there was only a couple of brands. Rolex made the Submariner, and Blancpain made the 50 Fathoms. So really, in terms of buying a watch for kind of going to deep depths of underwater, there wasn't many to choose from. But this was the go-to. You know, obviously the design is so cool. I mean, everyone wants a Sub, let's be honest. And I suppose really what I wanted to talk about was just the general day-to-day of owning one, because it's a pleasure to own one. And the reason I think they're so popular more than any of the other Rolex collection is because they're just so usable. It's not offensive at all. It's not too blingy. It's not got any kind of gold in it. No gems, no precious stones. You can bash it, unlike some of the Rolex sports models, like the Milgauss or the Yachtmaster maybe. It's a brushed steel finish, 904L, so super strong, will never break on you ever. The bezel obviously is the ceramic Cerachrome or Kerachrome, I don't know how everyone pronounces it, but just like in terms of getting an everyday watch, this is it, guys. This is the watch that everyone would want. Using it, you know, like I say, you can wear it with a suit, you can wear it with jeans, t-shirt and shorts, Monday to Sunday. This is the kind of go-to kind of cult watch that everyone has kind of admired today. So I think that's probably the biggest thing for it, the reason everyone wants a Sub, as opposed to maybe any of the other lineups and any other brand, is because yes, it's got heritage, it's you know, got provenance and pedigree, but also you can just put it on. You don't mind bashing it, you don't mind scratching it. You know, you can like I say, you can take it anywhere, go anywhere with it. And one of the reasons I think it's such a good model. Interestingly, it's probably the watch I wear the least, because I've got a Sea Dweller 43, which I'm also very lucky enough to have, guys. So I wear that quite a lot more than probably the Sub. And then I love wearing kind of more unusual dials. If you've seen my collection, I've always specialized in different types of dials. So that's one of the things that I like about collecting, is not just having black face Submariners or something like that. I wanted a different variation of kind of dials, you know, what they look like, and then kind of different coloured and dynamics into the actual collection. So probably one of the reasons I don't wear it as much as other ones, it doesn't have as much wrist time. It still gets worn, there's still scratches on it, etc. But yeah, basically it probably doesn't get worn as much as it should. But still proper thing, definitely belongs in the collection along with all the others, and looks great next to them. I'd also chose the non-date, and the reason for that is because between the 8 or 9 watches in the collection currently, some of them have got dates, some of them haven't. I just didn't want all dates, and that's one thing I like about the Milgauss, is that you don't have to have the ball ache of changing dates. You know, you've got a Yachtmaster, you've got a GMT, an Explorer 2, etc. that have, and the Sea Dweller 43 that have got dates. This is quite actually nice to not have a date, so that's one of the reasons I got a non-date sub as well. Less to kind of faff around with. So yeah, but like I say, it is it's just a go anywhere watch. It is just you know, it is, I can understand why everyone wants one, and everyone would choose one against any of the other collection. You know, if they sat in the shop, I think it's the most recognized watch in the world. I think, you know, men and women, I'm sure, watch this channel, but even someone, maybe a 24-year-old female that doesn't have like watches, or maybe a 60-year-old bloke who doesn't really like watches, they would probably know and recognize this iconic piece. And that's probably one of the reasons why it's got such good valuations in terms of their residuals. They hold their value so well, and there's always a demand. You know, these are not rare watches, guys. They are, I've always said, they're like a VW Golf or a 3 Series in terms of their numbers that are out there in the world. But because of the typical supply and demand, clever Rolex marketing that is out there at the moment, it means that if you were to walk into a dealer and try and say, can I have a sub? Yeah, you'd probably be laughed at, which is, I think, is really sad, because I think everyone wants this watch in their lives. I think everyone needs this watch in their lives. They are, you know, even my missus likes the sub. She, you know, she would love a dressy watch, but she even loves the sub just for its plain simplicity, classicness. It's got a certain elegance to it, pedigree, provenance, the lot. You know, it's got everything. So so yeah, that's why I'm happy. It will never leave the collection, and yes, as long as it doesn't get worn as much, but we've got plenty to go around, and so it still gets wrist time, and yeah, very lucky to have this in my collection. So thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for staying tuned, and speak soon.